The 2017 Toyota AFL Premiership season is proudly presented by Yesler. They say yes more often. And Middle West Recycling, offering cash for scrap.
Heppel takes the mark, and he was taken out by Gray. He's not wasting any time. He's off a couple of steps, and he's got it all the way. The Bombers have got the first one of the afternoon.
Mundy from 52 metres kicks the ball to the goal square. Tabner plays on and kicks the first goal for Fremantle. Oh, McKenna, he almost left it behind. Little toe poke, the Irishman. He was doing it a bit before the game. He did well. It's underneath him. Fremantle player on. Umpire hovering. Oh, he gives himself a hug and says, I'm going to throw it up here.
Pulled up 25 metres out. It's tapped straight to Merritt, who snaps a goal.
So there you go, a couple of the highlights out of the first quarter of play. It is the Essendon Bombers leading 4-3-27 to Fremantle's 2-2-14 with their thoughts on the first quarter of play and some numbers. Steve Allen, are we going to the boys first? What are we doing first?
I'll take it over, Carl. Aaron Sandilands gave the Dockers first use in that quarter with 5 of his 17 hit-outs to advantage. The Dockers only capitalising with 3 more clearances than Essendon. Something of note, the metres gained statistic. David Mundy, the key driver for the Dockers, with 169 metres gained. Hughes and Langdon following behind. Well, the main men for Essendon getting plenty of meterage, with Heppel, Fantasia and Merritt getting big numbers there. Essendon have brought the intensity, laying 12 more tackles in the first quarter, with Fremantle laying just the 12. Langdon's had 9 touches, Neil with 8, Fife with 6. 5 of those in the last 10 minutes of the quarter, while Goddard's had a dozen touches for the Bombers, Merritt with 10, Kelly with 8.
Yeah, it's been a positive start for Essendon, albeit they could have been a little bit sharper in front of goal. Skevin's scoring shots, I should say. They would like to have kicked a couple more of them to be a little bit further in front. I've really enjoyed some of the work with their tools today, in particular Danaher and Hooker in the forward line, Jacko, their ability to crash contests, to work and run. They've both kicked a goal each. And then at the other end, Hurley, who I spoke about pre-game, he needs to have a big impact if they're to win today. He's out to 7 touches, a couple of intercept possessions, and he's trying to organise their defence so to get himself drop off and +1 all afternoon, and he'll be trying to do that and have that impact for Essendon this afternoon.
Well, they've just got to balance the ledger. 73% of the ball's in Essendon's forward line, and they're quite lucky they're only down by 13 points, but need to get that drive. Not only just David Mundy's 32 years of age, they need to get some drive through the middle of the ground.
Another goal to the Melbourne Demons, so 10-6 plays 11-7, so the Hawks are slowing badly at the MCG late in the third quarter.
So second quarter underway here at Domain Stadium. Neil trying to burst out of the middle. He was wrapped up by Merritt. Goddard trying to get a handball out. Walters is up there in the centre square. Mundy to Neil by hand. Now Fife. A couple of big names combining there for Fremantle. And a good kick out wide for Kirsten, who takes the mark left half forward. Wheels around, not wasting any time. Goes along to the one-on-one. Tabner there, but Heppel gets back to help out. And intercepts the mark for the Bombers deep inside the defensive 50. Short for Goddard. Now at half-back. Bagley receives by hand and kicks long. And out wide for Fantasia, who's got it level with the logo on the wing. And now he sends it. Good ball movement by the Bombers to Danaher, who marks close to the boundary line. Then long into the pocket. Hooker getting back and clutches it in the midst. That was excellent transition there by Essendon.
Well, Hooker's ability to work, he tried to lead up to Danaher before that kick from the centre half forward position, and then cut deep to the goal square, where now he's deep in the left-hand forward pocket. But his work rate was super on that passage of play.
And Carl Hooker kicks a goal in the first quarter. This one deep in the left forward pocket, tight angle. So he steps out, opens up the angle, trying to get it back. He didn't like it off the boot, so just to behind the result.
Gee, they would have loved the reward there for some exceptional ball movement, and particularly to run through the middle of the ground. It started with a handball from Goddard to get the run going, but they moved that ball from one end to the other in an excellent fashion. Would have loved to have finished with a goal.
Almost three-quarter time at the MCG, and it's just a one-point ball game. Melbourne have come roaring back into it, 73 plays 72 against the Hawks.
So D is stripped of the ball here, and he's pinged for holding the 50. Football and the 50 metres. Oh, Davey Myers going, I thought I gave it to the right bloke. So Brady Gray, who has had a lot of pressure acts, leading player for Fremantle and in the forward half. He kicks the ball towards the attacking 50, Crozier, who's been pretty quiet so far. Had one shot in the first quarter and missed. And he kicks with the left, long and strong. Top of the square, big pack, Fife. Did he pay the mark? No, says the umpire. Comes out, Merritt slaps the ball down the throat of Goddard, who then gave it off to Parrish, who kicks the ball in the Danaher direction. Hamling now comes in. Hand pass the ball to Ibbotson, who wheels around, distributes the ball nicely to Mundy, to Sutcliffe, to the attacking 50 and Hill. Hill plays on. Oh, then he drops the ball. And now it's been won by the Bombers. Hand pass coming the other way. And now Heppel receives. He hand passes out to the wing. Fantasia has the ball, loops a hand pass to Parrish. Fantasia taken out off the ball. Advantage was given to Essendon, to Danaher. He has a long ping from about 80. The ball rolls end over end and eventually rolls out of bounds in the pocket. But
that was strange by David Mundy. He made really high contact there with Fantasia off the ball.
Well, it's a good result in the end. Joey Danaher went long for the goal as he goes out of bounds. So they get a good forward set-up stoppage here for the Bombers.
Ball thrown in, forward pocket for Essendon. Green lost his footing as he tripped by Sutcliffe. Hooker gathers, got away from Neil. Now he's tackled. He had a chance to get rid of it, so he's gone.
Three-quarter time at the MCG. Adamant is Hawthorn by a point, 11-7 to 11-6.
Neil's got the football in the back pocket. We get down to the boundary with Joel Saratsis shortly. Switch of play here by the Dockers in defence. Johnson out wide. Hill lost it in the sun. Had to wait for it to bounce. But he recovered and goes short to McCarthy. Just backward of the wing. He sends it up now for Walters, but a good spoil by Bagley. Let's get down to ground level for Coates Hire. Joel Saratsis.
No injuries down here, Adam. Hughes, Tucker, Blakely and Ballack all starting on the bench for the Dockers here in this second quarter.
Michael Walters, only 5 handballs, still yet to get a kick in this game. Need to desperately get him into the game, kick a goal for his side.
Ball thrown in, and we'll get another stoppage because Fife has taken in a standing tackle.
AFL Fantasy leaders perhaps so far. Goddard with 54, Merritt with 44. The best of the Dockers is Lockie Neal with 41.
We'll keep you up to date with the A-League Grand Final between Sydney FC and Melbourne Victory as well through the afternoon. Get a score from there shortly as the ball's sent back over the boundary line.
And as we anticipated, Fremantle winning the hit-outs, 21 to Essendon's 5.
4-4-28 Essendon, 2-2-14 Fremantle. Second quarter for Metal West Recycling. Ball thrown back into play. Just forward of the wing for the Dockers, but taken by Parrish of Essendon. Collier, slick handball, got it to Bagley. Now they might be clear. Heppel's got it, can tuck it under the arm, and he drills a kick load. Perfect precision from Dyson Heppel onto the chest of Fantasia. He wanted to go though, put himself under pressure. Gave it to Danaher, and they have to retreat now, Essendon. And Goddard will chip it short to Parrish, who marks it 55 from goal. He's got Stanton creeping down inside 50. Decides to go more direct to the top of the square. 3-on-1 down there, which allows Hamling to take the uncontested mark in defence for Freo.
So he plays on. Hamling kicks the ball long outside the defensive 50. In front is Taberner, but it goes over the back. And the big fella Leuenberger. Hand pass to Goddard. Goddard then kicks the ball long inside the attacking 50. Hooker can't mark. Knocked away. Brady Gray gets the crumb. Evades a tackle. And hand passes the ball. Weller in the back pocket for Fremantle. Kicks the ball out. Sandilands. Good effort by Big Sandy. Nice mark for Munns. Plays on to Hill, who is cruising past. He has a bounce. Draws the man. Hand pass on the bounce. Into the path of Lockie Neal, who picks it up. Then he spears a pass to Michael Walters. He takes the mark. He's at half forward. He kicks to centre half forward with a crossfield kick, and he finds Crozier, who waits for Taberner, who 55 from home, kicks the ball long inside 50, using the body Kirsten well on D, and he finishes off from point-blank range with a goal. And Fremantle have got their third.
Well done, Shane Kirsten, because he was in the best position, and you're waiting for Luke for the hands in the back, and that's a dopey free kick. But his technique was really important. Found the line of the ball first before his direct opponent. Good ball use by Fremantle, and Michael Walters gets his first kick of the game, so that'll give his confidence the world of good.
It is harder than it looks doing what Shane Kirsten just did now. Just got a bit of body, got his opponent under the ball, but yeah, so difficult to do that these days without giving away free kicks, but looks like he had maybe a couple of hands in the back.
No, Adam, don't look at Adam Papalier over there. He's mimicking like he's...
I saw it on the camera, electronic replay.
He's right on the side. That's perfect.
I reckon
had minimal contact.
The palms might have been up just slightly from Kirsten, but the goal is in the book, and we're back in the middle of Domain Stadium. Walters up there. He's spending more time in the midfield this afternoon Tipperwoody overran it. Walters in, clean pick-up, got it to Blakely. Handball away to Bradley Hill, who spears a kick up the wing, short of Tabata. Walters to get involved again, though, worried out of it by Hurley.
Stay on his feet.
Handball Leuenberger to Bagley. Bombers have got it back through Collier, who kicks long inside 50. Hooker causing some problems, but what a spoil by Hamling. Just in the nick of time to save the day for the Dockers. Johnson, switching kick. Langdon's got it. Ball use has been a concern, and he's turned it over again. Green's got it, and on the counter-attack, Danaher will take the mark. 20 metres out. It was an issue for him last week, Ed Langdon, and again this week he's found the footy, but his disposal hasn't been up to scratch.
Just looked too casual, didn't he? He kind of turned around on the spot and just quite casually sort of popped it back into the corridor, missed the target by a mile.
It's a coach killer. It's a coach killer, that, because I reckon the last 2 to 3 minutes you sense Fremantle was starting to get on top, and this is a gimme goal back.
Well, it's Joe Danaher. He kicked 1-6 last week, but that strike is pretty nice, and he slots it through. He's got 2 for the afternoon, and the Bombers just get a little bit of breathing space again. 5-4-34 Essendon. Fremantle 3-2-20, 8.5 minutes gone on the Metal West Recycling scoreboard.
Well, we mentioned in the pre-game, if you don't get it out of the back 50 Fremantle with precision and a bit of pace, the forwards pressure of Essendon will certainly hunt you down. And on that occasion, it was a bit of a casual kick, but Ed Langdon, he needed to be a bit more precise and just a bit more definitive coming out of the back 50. So it's a gimme goal, it's a nothing goal, but they can certainly change the momentum.
In terms of that pressure, Jacko, Carl Hooker just comes to have a rest. He looks exhausted. He's been working really hard, the big man, and Joey Danaher as well. So they're getting a lot of work rate from their tools, which is a huge bonus in the Essendon forward half at this point.
So in the middle of the ground, the ball in the hands of umpire Justin Schmidt, and it's a beautiful bounce, very high. Sandlands has to wait for it to come down. He held Leuenberger at bay, but it's won by Heppel to Zaharakis. Nice pass to Danaher. 55 from home. Is he going to have a ping? No. He's going to give it to Collier, who's going to run inside 50 and kick a worm burner. It's a shocking kick. It was almost won by his teammate Fantasia, who's kicked 2 points. Francis tracks the ball to the boundary, but it beats him over, and in the pocket for the Bombers, their left pocket will be tossed in.
Dyson Heppel having a big second quarter. Won a one-on-one against Nat Fyfe to get that clearance. Certainly having a good afternoon here at Domain Stadium.
Goal to the Hawks in the first minute of the last quarter at the G. 12-7, plays 11-6. They lead now by 7 points. As the ball back in play here is held up about 35 metres out from the Bombers' goals.
Brendan Goddard with 6 disposals for the quarter, 18 for the game. Danaher and Heppel with 5 each for the quarter.
Some of our stat winners here on 6BR footy. As Nathan Fyfe tries to break through, he can't. He goes again, and he's tackled by McDonald, Tipperwoody, and taken to the line.
Lockie Neal leads the Dockers with 5 this quarter, up to 13 for the game. He's won 3 Brownlow votes in each of the last 2 games against the Bombers.
Sydney by 54 points over Brisbane today. The Hawks lead by 7 points at the G, and it's a 14-point lead here for the Bombers.
Ibbotson at the base of the pack, trying to get it out of there. Green emerged with it. Kicks a high ball to the top of the square. Francis off hands. Couldn't take the mark. Rush behind, going the way of Essendon.
Well, Michael Johnson looked a bit nervous on that occasion. He was sitting under that ball with Francis coming. Had no idea where Francis was, but in the end, lucky result there for Fremantle, just behind.
15-point lead it is to Essendon. Dangerous kick back through the corridor. Hamling gave it to Weller. He played on, was tackled, and should have been a free kick. Fremantle very lucky. But what was Hamling thinking going back into the corridor there, and then Weller playing on? So they have put themselves under pressure a lot today, Fremantle. Playing on when they don't need to. Sandilands the hit out. It's directly in front of the Bombers' goal, about 30 metres out. Fyfe tackled strongly by McDonald, Tipperwoody. Well done by Neal. Emerged from underneath the pack, and now he's running out of defence with a bounce. He'll take a second. He's still going, Lockie Neal. Handball away to Langdon from the defensive 50. High ball up the wing. Taberner gave a little nudge. No free kick. Kirsten there as well. Bombers have the numbers at ground level. Bagley to Zaharakis. Kick to centre half forward where Francis leads up. And he stepped off the line, so he's called to go. Back for Stanton. Driving kick now inside 50. Sandilands getting back. No. He spoiled his own man. Hamling knocked down. Taken by Fantasia. McDonald, Tipperwoody will snap, but he misses. Another chance gone begging for Essendon. Another mix-up in defence by Fremantle.
Matt Taberner, he needs to learn to get in front position when they're release kicks coming out of the back 50 for Fremantle. Can't fly for the ball 2 or 3 deep.
Metal West Recycling scoreboard. Bombers by 16 points, 12 minutes gone, second quarter.
21-13 inside 50s in favour of the Bombers, and they probably should be further in front. Ball on the wing. Hand pass comes out. It's taken high.
He's calling it a throw.
Righto. So it's against Ballack, I think. Yep.
Had an argument there for one over the throat. Essendon get another opportunity.
Ball gets kicked inside the attacking 50. Francis lets the ball bounce near the boundary. He's not knocked it out. There's a docker now over the top of it, and players converge, and in the end umpire Williamson will throw the ball up. 16-point lead to Essendon, almost double the Fremantle Dockers score so far on a beautiful day. Not a breath of wind. 29 degrees when we started the game. Wouldn't have changed much, I wouldn't have thought, as again there's another stoppage, so the ball will be thrown up again for Middle West Recycling and Yes Loans today. 6PR footy. Steve,
12 minutes gone this quarter. We've got Mundy and Fife with one disposal each.
Get to Luke in a moment. Luke McFarlane, Glenn Jakovic with us here on 6PR footy. It will be for the season. Green tries to get away for the Bombers. Coming the other way, Docker, he lost it in the tackle. Zaharakis on his knees, ditched the ball up. Francis fumbled it, picked up by Merritt. Hand pass back, Stanton, Zaharakis. Now to a teammate, tackle, throw. Free kick? No. Tabiner has a windy like Jacko on the first tee as the ball is held up on the attacking 50. Luke.
Essendon out to 21 inside 50s now. They're getting a lot of repeat entries. They're putting a lot of pressure on Fremantle at the moment. They're not capitalising on the scoreboard at this point.
It's an ugly game though, let's face it. Green, little hack kick. Oh, Fantasia, 2 points so far for him. Hill, his hand pass is cut off. Bombers around the ball, but it got slapped out. Tabiner then dished it up, tried to get it to Tucker, and he couldn't take it. Green was effective in knocking the ball away, and again it's out of bounds. Stoppage footy, stop-start stuff, and there's been a goal to Melbourne at the MCG, so it's back to a point. 12-7 plays 12-6. They're 5 minutes gone in the last quarter at the G.
The ball thrown in left forward pocket for Essendon, right at the 50. Danaher over the back, Merritt. Quick kick to the top of the square. Hooker used the body well, marked it in the one hand, and that is a mark of the round contender for Munns, the lawn fertiliser specialist.
Well, Matt Tabiner needs to look at the plays of Carl Hooker when he gets in front, and that's what happens when you're a big body. You assert front position, you command the ball, you want it in your area, and he's very hard to match up right at the minute. He's causing Fremantle a lot of problems. He's kicked a goal earlier on. He's having another set shot now, so certainly having a good day out.
Should already have a couple on the board. This one from directly in front. He's banged it through from 25 metres out. He's now got two. And the Bombers making their move. They're out to a 22-point lead. We played 15 minutes in this second quarter. 6-6-42 Essendon, 3-2-20 Fremantle on the Metal West Recycling scoreboard.
Well, Fremantle just got caught on the back foot when your ball's in your back 50, and it's a bit of a scrap kick that comes in. You're under pressure straight away, and the percentage is, as a forward, as Essendon are, they're switched on and alert. They're playing in front, and if the ball comes in front, you got first look at it. And Fremantle just not thinking about their football at this present moment, and that's why they're 22 points down midway through this second quarter.
So in the middle of the ground. Again, it's with umpire Schmidt. Is he the man, is he? He's the only one bouncing today. Every time I look down there, it's him. Beautiful, isn't it? That's why he's doing it. Lovely. Doesn't make a mistake, that bloke. As it's down. Lockie Neal had it. Got rid of it. Now Blakely dodging it around men, falling on the ground. Out to Mundy. Mundy with a kick. Inside 50. Ballock Cross leading. Kirsten leading up, and he marks on his chest, and he should have a shot. Needs to get it straight through the middle. 1 goal, 1 so far today.
Well, at quarter time, Steve mentioned about the drive, and that drive then from their former captain, David Mundy. Mentioned before, he only had the one possession so far in this quarter, so he just needs to get more around the contest. Fremantle look dangerous when they get out and use that long kick to their forward 50.
Well, they've only got 3 goals in the game so far. 9 minutes to go in the half. Metal West Recycling scoreboard. What can Kirsten do? As he leans back, he's pulled it badly. And it's only just scraped in for a behind. So 1 goal, 2 for Shane Kirsten for his individual score. And it's 3-3 now for Fremantle. 3-3-21 to 6-6-42. So the Bombers double the Fremantle total at the moment for Metal West Recycling.
Danaher looked like he infringed there in the marking contest. Wasn't exactly a realistic attempt. The ball continues to go up the wing though. And Parrish's handball releases McDonald Tippenwoody, who goes short. Hooker takes it about 70 from goal. Steps inside
Danaher.
Blakely awkwardly off the left boot and got up through his fingertips. Ball at the top of the 50 for the Bombers. Merritt, did he get into the back of Neal? The ball still dislodged. Essendon inside 50. Handball wide. Gleeson can steady. From 35, he's kicked the goal. Essendon all over the top of Fremantle in this second quarter. It wasn't a clean way forward. It looked very ugly, but they got the desired result. 7-6-48 Essendon, 3-3-21 Fremantle. 17 and a half minutes gone in the second quarter for Metal West Recycling.
No, it wasn't pretty at all, Adam, as you pointed out, but they were able to just get out the back of that kick out of Essendon's defence that time, and Tip and Woody was able to get out the back and get the run going, and they moved the ball forward. It wasn't pretty. There was a couple of ordinary kicks and perhaps a couple of dubious decisions there with umpiring as well, but they managed to get it through and score the goal, Essendon, and they're taking control of this game and starting to run away, and Fremantle have a lot of work to do.
14-24 inside 50, so 10 more for the Bombers now. Back in the middle of the ground we go. Sandilands trying to do something for Fremantle. Got his hand pass out to Mundy. A kick out in the Ballock direction. Against him is Myers. Ballock did well, knocking the ball a little bit further forward. McCarthy then keeps the ball in play, but hand passed it straight to Myers, and then a tackle from Ballock is good.
Yeah, good tackle. Stayed in the contest. That's what you want players to do, and when you're led by one of the umpires, that's a good example.
Off to teammate here who has a long ping. It looks like Tucker who kicks the ball, but he too is offline.
Now, really important, Carl, that Fremantle lock it in here. Unlike the last kick in, it just went coast to coast.
That's from end to end, for those that want to know what the terminology actually means, as the ball is marked by Merritt. Merritt kicks the ball to the corridor for Hooker. Hooker's up and down with a nice mark, gives it off to Stanton. Stanton then kicks the ball to centre half forward. No mark is going to be taken other than spur for Fremantle, for the Bombers, so they've turned it over, 7-6 to 3-4. And that is on the Middle West Recycling scoreboard. It is Essendon in control here by 26 points.
Spur, centre half back for Fremantle, kicks wide. Looking for Gray at half forward. He worked Bagley out of it. Then he was run down by McKenna. Affected the kick. It dribbles up to Tabata. He's crunched in a tackle by Hartley. Taken a ground. Ball will be thrown up. About 65 out from the Fremantle goal.
Just looked a bit slow on the ground ball there, Tabata. Needs to get his arms up quickly and release get a release handball on that occasion. Was just tackled too easily.
The ball to be thrown up. We might have a blood rule here.
Leuenberger.
Yeah, it is. He's got a lot of blood coming from the nose.
Almost 20 minutes gone in this second quarter. Nat Fyfe still just one disposal for the term.
Fremantle's whole team have had 19 tackles, and at the MCG, Viney has had 14 on his own.
Is he in your super team, Carl?
No, he's not, Glenn. No.
You wish he was.
He's in someone else's, though, that's against me.
Good comeback by the
Demons
there at the MCG as Leuenberger takes his time to get off the ground. We'll check in with Joel Saratis down at the boundary level in just a second. Might be a Fremantle player in a bit of discomfort as well. Brady Gray just in the hands of the trainer. Sandilands with a hit out, knocks it down after the restart to Neal, who hacks a kick forward. Crozier pushed out of it. He's going to get a free kick. It was just too cleanly seen by the umpire. It wasn't disguised at all by the Bomber defender, and Crozier will have a shot on goal.
Well, you've got to look at the intent, and a few of the Essendon players are asking, but well done to Crozier, because he hit that contest at 100 miles an hour, and you're going to create the direct defenders nervous, and they impede on you. They put an arm or a body. On that occasion, he pushed him or tunneled him out of the contest, and he forced that free kick. Only because of his intent, now he needs to go back and kick the goal, because Fremantle desperately need this.
Hayden Crozier can be a lively forward at times. We know he can take the big mark. He needs to convert the set shot here, and he doesn't let his team down. He steers it through. A much-needed goal for Fremantle. Yeah, 4-4-28, trailing the Bombers by 20 points. They're 7-6-48. 21 minutes gone in this second quarter on the Metal West Recycling scoreboard.
Well, Lachie Neale's certainly having a good afternoon. He's really working hard. Yes, there's a couple of kicks that have been errant, but his work rate and willing, and he needs support. I mean, you mentioned before, Nat Fyfe only the one kick in the quarter, but he can't do it all on his own. And if Fremantle can just get a couple of midfielders on top, get a bit of drive, because their forward line looks like they're quite lively and look like they want to kick a goal.
Well, Fremantle's third highest possession getter is Joel Hamling, the full-back, so that's saying something about how their midfield's going at the moment. They need to get Mundy and Hill and maybe even get Walters in there at this point.
Goal to Jared Ruffhead at the G. Hawthorn extend their margin back to 7 points. 13-8 plays 12-7. Out of the middle, Freo. Sandlin's dished it out only to Zaharakis. Run comes from half-back. Danaher received it, gave it to Kelly. Kelly's kick to the attacking 50. Hamling pulls the ball down for Hooker. Hooker to Green. Oh, it was into his back, really. Green got it under the slipper, though. And he hits the goal post. That was a good effort by Green. He had the good. Oh, gee, the ball was that in the? That could have been the shade.
It's in the shade.
Ethan Hughes. He's in the. I know he's in the shade. It could have been the sun as Hooker picks the ball back, and Johnson, thankfully for Fremantle, was in the hole to take a defensive mark. But that was a bad error by Hughes. Meantime, Johnson's kick out in the hill direction. Nice pass. Bombers did get a point, 7-7-49 to 4-4. They are out. McCarthy hasn't kicked a goal yet. From 52 with an open goal square, he spears it to Kirsten. Goes over the top. It's in the square. Bagley's first back to it. He stucks the tackle, and it's paid. Oh, I'm not sure about that. Goes to Myers. He actually contributed to the high contact, I felt, Steve.
Fremantle have had just 4 disposals inside their forward 50 this quarter. Essendon have had 23 in theirs.
Ball kicked out. Fife in the air for Munns. Takes a good mark. He's kicking the ball inside the attacking 50. An attempted mark by Bagley. He put it down. McCarthy takes it. Hand pass to Walters. He dives to the ground with a hand pass. Brady Gray falls over. Taberner keeps his feet. Gave it to Langdon, and Langdon kicked it to the crowd. Out on the full.
Need a little bit of composure, Fremantle. They've got an opportunity here. They've managed to keep it in their forward 50. Can't allow Essendon to get a clean run out of the back 50 now.
Goddard leading the way for AFL Dream Teamers with 68. Go to the AFL website, download the app, afl.com.au.
Merritt's got it deep in the back pocket for Essendon. The short kick to Goddard wasn't the required distance, so he has to play on. Long kick out of defence, and a big mark taken by Hughes. He was pushed as well, as you spotted.
That wasn't very subtle either.
No. Fantasia. So Hughes has got it for the Dockers, and he'll just bang it along. Very congested forward line, looking for a mark. Kirsten with a huge fly, but he left the ball behind. No mark there. It's cleared out of defence by the Bombers.
That would have been mark of the decade. That was huge.
Century.
Weller back inside 50. It goes past Walters. Langdon. Tackled by Kelly. Walters goes in hard again. He went straight into the legs of Parrish.
You can't do that.
It's going to be a free kick.
He should get reported for that. You can't. That's how you break people's legs.
That's why the rules brought in. Thankfully, Parrish is back to his feet, and he's okay. That was a nasty collision. And kick up the wing. Francis there. Awkward landing by Hooker. Getting back to his feet now. Weller will kick it into the middle of the ground. Bradley Hill slipped over, but he's still got the mark. He plays on, and this time Kirsten will take the mark, leading out from full forward, 48 metres out.
At the start of this second quarter, when the ball in hand for Bradley Hill, his kicking is elite. They've got to get it to him more often. That kick to Kirsten was just what he's in this side for. He's a great kick of the ball. Need to get it in his hand a lot more. Need to go back and kick this one, Fremantle.
Kirsten directly in front. He's a long kick of the football. It was off the instep, and it hooked away behind.
1 goal 3 for Kirsten now.
His preparation there, his run-up was just all over the place. As a key forward, he's got to get that right.
Struggling for accuracy. 7-7-49 Essendon. Fremantle 4-5-29. 25 and a half minutes gone. Second quarter for Metal West Recycling.
It's normally not a bad kick.
Yeah, but he had no routine, Carl. He just leant back and then tried to just over-kick it, and that forced the hook kick.
So McKenna booting the ball long, down towards the wing position, and the foot race is on. And it's won by Fremantle. They've got a 2-on-1 here against Fantasia. And eventually the 2 beats the 1. And the ball is kicked into Blakely. His pass is okay for Kirsten, who's been lively. He kicks the ball long inside the attacking 50. Walters can't get there. Hooker got back.
Terrific, Carl
And
Hooker.
he knocked the ball down. Myers gets it into his teammate Parrish. Parrish to Merritt. Essendon maintaining possession in their defensive 50. Now Zaharakis. He's got Hooker all on his own across half-back, who's screaming for the ball. And Zaharakis goes the opposite direction to D. So contested possessions even, 63 each. 182 6PR footy. It is still the Hawks leading Melbourne. And that margin is now 8 points, 13-9 to 12-7. And they're 18 minutes into the last quarter there. Meantime, this game has become a bit of a stalemate. And a pass is good by the Bombers. Hurley, beautiful kick to find Merritt. Merritt's got a man in the corridor, and that's Danaher collision. Nah, Hill says, nah, you're not going to clean me up. I'm going to stop. So now Danaher runs away with 2 bounces. Hand passes the ball to the wing. Well, the bounce pass wasn't that great because now Kelly, he's now being stripped of the ball by Walters. He's been quiet. That was good, though, to Hill and now to Taberner. And Taberner's going to have a shot.
Has to go back. Show composure, Taberner. This is what you're in the side for. You've got an inside 50. It's a 40-metre kick. It's good to see that he's going back having a shot now.
Great contest there by Michael Walters on the far wing. Just pickpocketed his opponent and came up with the ball. Beautiful pass inside. So that's a good moment for him. He's had some poor ones in this game.
Well, Taberner has been, for the most part, a goal-kicking machine back at Peel, and not this time. He too, like Kirsten, has strayed away, this time to the right, and another point only to Fremantle. But doing most of the attacking, they've had all the shots in the last 5 or 10 minutes, really. We've got only a minute to play in the half.
So the Bombers have won the quarter to this point. There's a 13-point lead at quarter time. And there's now Hurley goes long out of defence. Fremantle love another one just before half-time. Neil takes it half forward, swings it back through the middle of the ground. Hamling's been busy this afternoon. He switches now to Michael Johnson. And he's wanted the 50 against Kelly, encroaching over the mark. Handball to Hughes. Hughes with a driving kick into the pocket. Taberner again. He just had a good run at it that time. And he punches it in the hands, and he'll go back and have a set shot, tight angle, right forward pocket.
Well, when they move the ball quickly, they've got Kirsten, Taberner and McCarthy. They're lively. They're very mobile, and any defender out there will know they're very hard to stop. It's when that high one-on-one ball comes in, you bring the Essendon defenders into it.
It'll suit him to open up the angle on the left boot. He hooks it back around and curls it through. Important goal for the Dockers, right on the stroke of half-time. Matt Taberner's showed some good signs today. He's got 2 goals.
Well, just winning a little bit of ground ball, and we saw what Michael Walters, he pickpocketed over there, but on that outer wing, which forced another inside 50, albeit it was a point, but they're peppering the inside 50s. They've enjoyed this last 3 or 4 minutes. Important goal just before half-time, but for Taberner's confidence, he's now had a few good contested marks and a few big pack marks. He can come in at half-time. He's kicked 2 goals. He's certainly done his job up until half-time. But he can finish off the game by kicking 4 goals and taking a few more pack marks like that one.
Essendon 7-7-49. Fremantle 5-6-36. Metal West Recycling scoreboard.
And at the MCG, goal to Isaac Smith has seen Hawthorn extend their margin 14-9 to 13-7, but then a goal just to Melbourne. So 13-7 plays 14-9, so it's back to 8 points. It's still tight there as Hill kicks the ball inside 50 for Fremantle, doing all of the attacking in the last half of the first quarter, showing some very good signs going into half-time. That is the endeavour that we've seen from Fremantle with a couple of come-from-behind victories so far in this season. And it is still Essendon, though, who lead by 13 points on our Metal West Recycling scoreboard here at half-time, 7-7-49 to 5-6-36. At the end of this game, the boys will be voting for the 6PR Tony Barlow Menswear Player of the Year, thanks to Frank Rayo. The team will be voting for a winner who will receive a $5,000 Tony Barlow Menswear wardrobe. We'll get into our half-time wrap for the TAB. Tap Touch, AFL $2 line betting conditions apply. Gamble responsibly. You're listening to 6PR Footy for Metal West Recycling and Yes Loans here at half-time at Domain Stadium on a beautiful day. It is Essendon leading by 13 points.
The 2017 Toyota AFL Premiership season is proudly presented by Metal West Recycling, offering cash for scrap and Yes Loans. They say yes more often.
Crozier, who waits for Taberner, who 55 from home, kicks the ball long inside 50, using the body Kirsten well on D, and he finishes off from point-blank range with a goal.
Langdon's got it. Ball use has been a concern, and he's turned it over again. Green's got it, and on the counter-attack, Danaher will take the mark. That strike is pretty nice, and he slots it through. He's got 2 for the afternoon. Handball wide. Gleeson can steady. From 35, he's kicked the goal.
Well, there you go, some of the highlights in that second quarter of play. There was nearly a magnificent highlight, but Shane Kirsten got up nice and high. Would have been, certainly, as Luke McFarlane described it, as mark of the decade. Maybe not mark of the century, as claimed by Glenn Jakovic. 7-7-49 here at half-time, the Bombers. 5-6, 36 the Dockers, but they went into half-time finishing pretty strong. Steve Allen has some numbers for us.
Well, Essendon out-tackled Fremantle by 6 in the second quarter. They lead that statistic by 17 up to half-time. They extended their lead out to 27 in that quarter, but Freo fought it back to Essendon now leading by 13 points at half-time. Lachie Neale's had it 17 times. He's had 10 contested possessions and 6 clearances. Langdon's had it 14 times. Bradley Hill with 13. Hamling, Walters and Taberner with 10 each, while Nat Fyfe a little quiet by his standard with 9 disposals. For Essendon, it's Goddard and Merritt leading the way with 19. Hurley's had it 13 times. Hooker with 12. Joe Danaher and Dyson Heppel with 11 each.
Now I know why Luke McFarlane said it would have only been mark of the decade, because 12 years ago in a derby here, there was a number 18 that took a mark of the year down there in the Ford 3-tier stand. So
Mark of the century, that one.
Well, that's the mark of the century.
What did you win, Luke? Did you win anything?
I didn't win a car that year. They didn't have the car. They had a cash prize in the end, which I think I got done for tax as well. So it wasn't a great result.
Yeah, as you do. Now, just quickly, boys, 30.8 degrees today is Perth's warmest May day since the 1st of May 2003, when it reached 32.7 degrees. So warm conditions, first half of play. How have you seen it?
Yeah, well, really promising signs for Fremantle. Just at the end of that second quarter, it certainly looked like Essendon were well in control. They were getting lots of repeat entries. Their tools were really getting to work. I've really enjoyed Cale Hooker this afternoon. Big body, he's taken contested marks. He's taken 8 marks, in fact, for the half. So he's on track for a big game in the air. And he's kicked a couple of goals as well. But Fremantle work back into that contest. Matt Taberner a couple of goals. His work rate, Jacko, I thought, was pretty good. Just continues to run and present. He's a big frame. He's nearly 2 metres tall. So if he can get his arms out in front, he should be able to take a few more this afternoon. But look, Fremantle, they looked pretty good at the end of that second quarter. I suspect they're going to get to work a bit more. You can get more out of Fyfe and Mundy, only 9 touches each as well, if they can get those players going. But Essendon leading, but Fremantle with a bit of momentum going into half-time.
Luke McFarlane with his thoughts there. Now, we're in our half-time wrap for the TAB. Tab AFL $2 line betting. Conditions apply. Gamble responsibly. We can tell you that the siren has just sounded at the MCG, and Hawthorn have won by 3 points, 14-10 to 14-7. So another underdog. So they say has gotten up and won the game of footy. So 3-point win to the Hawks. Let's hear from Glenn Jakovich.
Well, on the back of Luke's summation there at half-time, and Fremantle getting a bit of momentum leading into half-time. Contested possessions, they managed to get it back in their favour, Fremantle, 68 to 63. But one player they got to really put a shutdown job on, and I know that Ross would certainly have him in his sights, but he's old warhorse, Brendan Goddard, 19 disposals, but he's had a fair amount of footy going forward to the 50 and giving a lot of drive. The drive that Fremantle Dockers have been lacking. It's been spasmodic, some of their drive. We saw one in the first quarter by David Mundy, which resulted in the goal. So Fremantle need to get Nat Fyfe into the game. As the captain that he is, a fair bit of pressure on him off-field. Regarding his contractual arrangements, but it just seems that he's having a bit of a quiet day. He's only had the 9 disposals, 6 kicks, but no real penetration with his ball use. So he's been scrapping around it a little bit in the middle of the ground, and the opposition are certainly paying key attention. But Fremantle's midfielders need to look at Goddard and Zach Merritt. Between them, they've had 37 disposals up in the half-time, giving Essendon a lot of drive.
Well, despite Fremantle's midfielders being a bit down, they're actually leading the clearances 19 to 15, and we know they're going to get ascendancy in the hit-outs. Aaron Sandlands and co, 32 hit-outs to 7. So, of course they're going to get their hand to the ball, but they were able to even up the clearances and get in front by half-time. So, again, there's upside there for Fremantle. You get Fyfe and Mundy going. You take the advantage with the hit-outs and the clearances, and you get it into the forward line where you've got McCarthy and Kirsten, and Taberner's putting in a pretty good afternoon. So they've got some work to do, but they look like they could come out and pinch this game if they're able to keep the effort up and just tidy up their method a little bit.
Bradley Hill's the one, Luke, I really want to see in this second half take the game by the scruff of the neck, because he's had 13 disposals, but by gee, his foot skills have been exquisite. Really made Fremantle look really good in this in that second quarter. So when they get that fast ball in their forward line, Taberner, Kirsten, McCarthy, they're very mobile forwards, very hard to play on if they're allowed the space to move around. So Fremantle just really need to make a focus of getting that ball in. Don't bomb it in, but when they do get in their forward line, make sure it goes in with a bit of pace, because brings in a couple of the crumbing players. Michael Walters just showed something there for about a 5-minute period. That he looked lively, and if they can get him into the game, you know, he's worth a couple of goals in a quarter.
Well, it helped when it was up in his area for a while too, though, didn't it? Which it was for the last half of that quarter, so you tend to get involved in the game when it's in your zone. Now, that is for the TAB, our wrap. Glenn Jakovic and Luke McFarlane. Now, Adam Papalia, you've got the latest in the A-League Grand Final.
I do, Carl. 35 minutes into that one. Sydney FC taking on Melbourne Victory. And guess who scored in a grand final yet again? Correct, Glenn Jakovic. Besart Berisha has scored for Melbourne Victory, so they lead that 1-0 in the first half. Of course, Sydney FC have set all sorts of records this season on their way to finishing on top of the table. But and they have trailed against Melbourne earlier on this season in a couple of games and come back to win as well. So that's set up for a big finish. We'll keep you updated with that through the rest of the afternoon.
As we get around the grounds, Sydney defeated Brisbane 20-15 to 12-9. Lance Franklin booting 8 goals, 4 in that match to dominate. A short time ago, Hawthorn victorious over Melbourne by 3 points. And here at Domain Stadium, the kids are playing out in the sunshine. There's a little bit of a breeze that's blowing up, so that'll hopefully cool things down a little bit for the players in the second half. But it's the Essendon Bombers by 13 points. This is 882 6PR Football.